And it's a
Wow.
beautiful day in the Pirate Broadcast. Good morning, Randy. How are you today?
I am fantastic. How about yourself, Russ? How are you doing?
Oh, better than average. It's we get up and let's get up and let's be above average, right?
Yeah, you bet. Especially whenever we can stand up, we're above average.
Exactly,
Beats being
exactly.
6 feet under. So, we can.
It beats the alternative for sure. The Pirate Broadcast, we're bringing interesting people to doing interesting things, and today's no different. I just want to thank you for being here. All the just I'm just a lot of gratitude here, Randy, for taking the time to be here. And I want to explore, you're the kindness giver and you've been promoting this kindness thing. And I'm one of the fans of kindness. Kindness is cool. Smiles are free.
I love it. Yep.
And the reason I put it out is, I have my reasons. And I just kind of wanted to get the backstory on why Randy is a fan of kindness and what path did you take to get to this point? Kind of
Hey,
explain to those that don't know you yet why and how.
well, I appreciate the opportunity to do that. It's been an interesting process, but you know, all my life I've been blessed to be surrounded by amazing people that have lifted and strengthened me. When I was a young man, my father made some serious mistakes. I lived in a small town. He made some very serious mistakes, and he was a school teacher. He ended up getting prosecuted. And of course, and I was a paper boy, so I would see all the stories in the newspaper. I knew that it was all over the news, and you're in a small town, everybody and their dog knows about, what's going on. And as you might imagine, that was a very difficult and trying time for my family, and especially for me as a teenager. For some
Mhm.
silly reason, I ended up blaming myself for the mistakes my own father made.
Mhm.
And so my self-esteem just tanked. I had no
Mm.
self-esteem. And one day, I was invited by the student council and voted by my class to sit on a committee with the student council. And the student body president at my junior high school asked me to type up an agenda for the next meeting. So I did, and I got there early, and I walked in and placed the agendas around, and within a couple minutes, in came one of my beautiful friends. And I'm not going to name her name, but I'll call her Michelle. She came walking in. She was a cheerleader. She was vivacious and bubbly and just fun, and the kind of girl that guys like me, if I try to talk to her, my tongue, is like I just swallowed a mouthful of tongue toffee, because my tongue
Yeah.
would go 3 feet thick and I couldn't talk. But she comes in and she says hi, and I oh, hi, and she picked up the agenda, and she looked at it for a minute, and then she said to me, and not in an unkind way, but she said, "Well, did you realize you misspelled the word miscellaneous?" And I was embarrassed. I said, "Well,
Yeah.
no." And I looked at it, and of course I had misspelled it. And what I said to her reflects my state of mind at the time. I said, "Oh, boy, I guess you think I'm pretty stupid, huh?" That's what I said.
Mm.
And to this day, I can't help it. I get choked up when I think about her response, because it stayed with me. It's been 36 years, and it
Yeah.
stayed with me like it happened yesterday. Here's what she said. She says, "Oh, no, I don't. I think you're pretty neat." I've never forgotten that, Russ.
Yeah.
I had no idea at the time how badly I needed to hear somebody tell me that they thought I was neat.
Yeah.
And that kindness, that simple act of kindness, 9 simple words, "Oh, no, I don't. I think you're pretty neat," has rippled through time. It's still rippling through time.
Yeah.
And that and so many other experiences where people have touched my heart has helped me to have a desire to bless and lift other people. Now, have I always been perfect at that? No, man, I've made a lot of dumb mistakes and said a lot of dumb things and mean things and unkind things along the way. I anybody listening there, any of my friends or people out there could probably dig something up that I've said in the past or done in the past, or posts I've made that were silly or ridiculous or not, kind. But and in today's age, they could probably come and excoriate me for something that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. But I am what I am today. I am striving with all my heart to truly be the kindness giver. It's not just a brand for me. It's who I am, who I'm trying to be, because we live in a day and a time when we need kindness more than ever. You look at especially right now during this crisis.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about me. A $10,000 answer for a 5,000 or 5 cent question. But there you go.
No, it's the perfect ideal, and I think you're pretty neat too.
Oh,
So,
thank you. I
so
appreciate that.
Randy, I thank you so much for being here, because I'm in agreement with you. There's a lot of pain in the world. There's a lot of things that the media would love us to believe, and I've seen it over and over and over again that people are actually very kind and generous. And there's a lot of people out there that are working to do good, help others, and make an impact on the world. So it's really one of these things that we need to be aware of. Simple things in life. It doesn't take a lot to be kind. I
You're
mean, you could.
absolutely right.
So share some of the things that you've discovered along the way that have surprised you or impressed you, or kind of had you taken back on where kindness has fit in and made a difference in some people's lives.
Oh, it's interesting. I want to take just a quick detour from that, but I'll come back to it. And what I wanted to raise up, we hear about climate change all the time, right? We hear about physical climate change. We hear about global warming. We hear about the
Mhm.
the need to take care of our planet, which I agree. We need to be the stewards of this beautiful planet we've been given. It's a gift, and
Yeah.
we need to take good care of it. But there's another type of climate change that we've touched on that you don't hear much about. It's called societal climate change.
Yeah.
And we see it all around us. We see that light and hope and love and unity and peace, which every one of us needs. We all need it. It doesn't matter if you're religious, not religious. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, or
Anything.
green, purple, pink, or whatever. We're all humans. We all have those needs to have those things. And if you look around, you look at what's on the media, you look at what's on social media and on the internet, those things are being eroded at an
Yeah.
exponential rate. We see a lot of darkness, a lot of hate, a lot of despair, a lot of contention and divisiveness. I mean, here in the United States, our politics is a major example of that.
Yeah.
There's never been a bigger divide. And so, you know, my whole desire behind doing what I'm doing is to help inspire people to restore light, love, hope, unity, and peace. And there's been a lot of good people along the way. It's particularly in the last while in my own life, I've had the opportunity on LinkedIn to connect with some amazing people like yourself. Ira Bowman is such a fantastic guy. Love Ira to death. He's a good man. And Ron Craig is another good friend of mine that I, have connected with and talked with, and been able to talk with a wonderful lady named Nicole Price. She is
Hmm.
such a sweetheart. She we've had some wonderful conversations. She shared some marvelous stories about kindness, and that's what inspires me. And Shelley Eisliger is doing a great
Yeah.
campaign. Decide to be kind. You
The
know,
Decide to Be Kind band.
you bet. And man, I've got mine right here. I have to take them off every once in a while because I start. Unfortunately, I'm trying to be kinder to myself and lose some weight, and those pants start to get tight on my wrist. But hey, I've got mine right here. Here it is, Shelley. Just so if you're watching this, it's right here. Um,
We're here to support you.
you betcha. Um, there people that have really touched my heart along the way have been people that are simply looking continually for opportunities to be kind. They don't need anybody to prod them. They don't need anybody to poke them. They're just naturally kind along the way, and they're intentionally kind. It's not random.
Yeah.
It's not just passive. If an opportunity to be kind happens to come my way, I'm going to be kind. These are people that are actively, intentionally looking for opportunities to be kind or creating opportunities to be kind.
It's like
It,
lifestyle.
it is. It is a lifestyle, and it's interesting since I authored the book, The Kindness Giver's Formula,
Mm-hmm.
particularly with the mission and the desire to help restore light, love, hope, unity, and peace. And it's an easy read, but and the biggest reason behind that is because when we see this rise in violence. We had the shootings last summer in California and in Texas, particularly in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and I said and think, what are we going to do about this? We see the erosion, we see the things that are going on, and it'd be easy. We see what's going on right now with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
It would be easy to sit around and wring our hands and think, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? What are we going to say? Do we leave it to the politicians? Hey, how well is that working out so far? you know, for one, I'm not willing to settle for that. And even in a crisis situation like they say we're in, which it is, there are all these different things happening, things that I never expected to see in my lifetime. I mean,
Right.
the NCAA tournament getting canceled, the NBA getting suspended, all these sporting events, all these things, we can
Lots of
still,
events are getting canceled.
yeah. Well, and virtual events like this
Mm-hmm.
are going to become, more needed than ever because we as human beings need to stay connected.
Well,
And
it's all
it's not,
about community. It's
it
about
is.
community. It's about the connection of individuals and people to really find a common goal. And
It is. It absolutely is. And in times when there's so much stress, being able to connect with people who have a kind heart, who have a loving heart, who are willing to listen and who
mm-hmm.
appreciate and value you is more important than ever. Because
Yeah.
that you think
Well, I
about
think it's. Do you think it's Randy? Do you think it's the feeling of we all want to be needed. We all want to feel important, right?
exactly.
And if people around you are kind and encouraging and empathetic to what you're doing and where you are, it's just like the saying, no, I think you're pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's that small difference that we can make, opening a door, making a compliment,
you bet.
helping somebody out. It's so simple, but I'm just curious how can we put that out in the world even more than we have, and teach others, younger people, people who are growing up in this sometimes toxic environment, how to be kinder. What steps can we take? What actions can we put in place in motion to do this? I mean, that's the question of the day for me.
Well, for me, the kindness givers formula is an easy way to do that. Every day, get up and look in the mirror and say, I'm going to be kind today.
Yeah.
Put that at the top of your daily agenda. Put at the top of mind, top of your daily agenda. I am going to be kind today. I am going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Have that determination. And then second, take 5 or 10 minutes to sit down and think about, okay, who am I going to be with today? Where am I going to be? What am I going to be doing? And think of potential ways to be kind in those situations. And
Yeah.
we're driving to work. Somebody needs to get in the traffic lane. It's so easy to sit there and ignore them, or be rude and cut in front of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Slow down a little bit. Let somebody get in.
Yeah.
At work, say an appreciative word to people around you. Let people know, somebody know that they look nice today, or hey, you appreciate their smile, or you're thankful for their all their efforts, all the extra mile that they go. Whatever it is, think about those opportunities and potential to be kind. And I say potential because you and I both know, and everybody in your audience knows that things don't ever go the way that you plan them.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. But think of potential ways to be kind, and if those situations present themselves, do what you thought about. Act on it, and that's the next step. The third step is, once you've thought about where you're going to be and what you're going to be doing, look for, everywhere you go, look for and act on opportunities to be kind. And again, they can be those simple things: opening a door, saying a kind word, giving a smile. It doesn't have to be anything grandiose, it's just simple things. And the final step, invite and encourage other people to do the same thing. And it can be contagious. The pay it forward movement shows that, and say, hey, people see that you're being kind. Somebody says, well, how can I ever thank you? Just pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
Go do the same thing. And some people ask me, well, or say, I'm just one person. I'm just one person. How on earth can
one person can make a difference, though.
And that's what I say. When anybody says that to me, I say, think about honeybees. And they're like, what? And I say, think about honeybees. Honeybees, an individual honeybee only lives 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks at the most, right? But in that time, they visit thousands of flowers, thousands. And they fly thousands of miles, gathering nectar, which is condensed down. When they bring it back to the hive, it's condensed down into to honey. Well, one honeybee by itself, only in its lifetime, produces 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. I mean, that's squat. that's
Wow.
nothing. But the cumulative effect of 20,000 to 60,000 honeybees in a hive working together is the creation of anywhere from 60 up to 100 pounds of honey in a year. That's a lot of honey. That sustains the hive, and it sustains a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And it has all. Interestingly, studies have been shown that honey has all the essential ingredients to sustain life for a little while.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I bring that up is, take that over to life. Our little acts of kindness may not seem like much, but think about what would happen if hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and I dare say, I'm bold enough to say billions of people got up every day following that formula, thinking, I'm going to be kind, and then thinking about what they're going to do and looking for and acting on it, and inviting and encourage other people the same. What kind of effect would that have on the world?
It would have a massive effect on the world.
It would be transformational.
It would be transformational. And I just want to take a moment, Randy, and I want to take a moment of kindness here and recognize everybody that's in the room and following this, because it's important for us to really, the whole reason I'm here is to be able to shine the light on people like yourself and share a new perspective and a new opportunity to learn something during the day. And Gabriel's here. He's always been an avid supporter. He's starting to do his YouTube channel and put some content out there, and he's always a pirate. Wendy Gahuli. Wendy's out there doing some amazing things. She's also a very kind individual that is just making a difference in the world.
Yeah, she's got a great application.
Yeah. The Pika app is going to be out there, and we can actually help people along the way. Latasha, thank you from Houston. Been showing up. I love that you're here. Azraf, good morning, everyone. Lewis, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Nestesling. I apologize for the mispronunciation. Lewis is here. Angie, good morning. Terry, thank you. If you can be kind to anything, be kind. So if you can be anything, be kind, right? Vicky O'Neill, it's awesome to see you here every day. Good morning. Thank you so much. Nick Norman. Hey, Randy is here. So it's another good day. I love the fact that Shelly Lolly she's around today. And it's just amazing to me that people show up. Allison is here. Looks like Roz is here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to share people with like Randy with the pirate community, and sharing a little bit of kindness today, and make sure that we have something that we can go out to the world with and produce results with. So, in fact, even here's no. I want to take a moment to share, like Gabriel here. If you connect on Facebook, the comments actually come up in the feed. On LinkedIn, I have to go to my phone and dig in to find the comments. So I just regardless of where you show up, it's a pleasure to be here, and I just wanted to acknowledge your being here. And if you come in and on the replay, just leave the comments. We'll come back and I'll respond to your comments as well. So, Randy, thank you so much for being here. If you don't know Randy, connect with Randy. He's the kindness giver, and we're talking today about kindness, and kindness is cool, and you can make a little difference. Everybody can make a difference in somebody's life, and just like the honeybee, you can make a major impact. I can hardly talk today. You can make a major impact on somebody's life today. So go out there and be kind. So Randy, what's in the future of the kindness giver? You have your book, you practicing it, you're sharing it, and what do you anticipate and see in the future?
Well, I'm working really hard. I'm the founder of a organization called Kindness Hunters International. Working really hard to get a reality TV show called The Kindness Hunters on the air.
Mm-hmm.
To get some investors, so we've done a sizzle reel, and we've got a strong concept, and we're working hard to get investors to help us be able to produce the episodes that we have in mind. We're gonna, there's so many wonderful people out there that are doing good things, and
Yeah.
people who have been through some real challenges and triumphed over in the face of great difficulty. We want to spotlight those individuals, and they haven't let their challenges get them down. What they've done is use them as stepping stones to create some amazing organizations that are blessing other people's lives, that are being, helping other people in need. So
Yeah.
we're going to spotlight those individuals. We're going to highlight or showcase the organizations that they've created. We're going to, help our audience to understand how they got to where they got to, and what some of their needs are, and intersperse that with some wonderful service-based competition.
Mm-hmm.
And put some positive content out there for reality TV, as opposed to a lot of the kind of shallow and I hate to say it, more negative and dramatic reality
Sensationalized
TV.
content.
Yes, sensationalized content, because
Yeah.
I want, again, I want to, our whole goal is to inspire the world, remind the world that we can make a big difference if we're willing to look for ways to be kind. And so that's one of the things I'm trying to do. I'm also working really hard. I've got a Kindness Unleashed group already on LinkedIn, but
Yep.
I have a campaign that I am feverishly working on right now to put together to inspire people to unleash kindness around the world.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some. I love Shelley Eisager's "Decide to Be Kind" movement. I love Jacqueline Way and her 365 Give.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can take the whole kindness picture to a wider screen. And so I'm working really hard to get that campaign ready and get it launched. I'm hoping to follow in your footsteps. I got ideas for a Kindness Unleashed podcast,
Yeah.
to interview the kind of people that I talked about for my show, and
They're out there.
they're all over the place. It's just trying to get everything into place, and hoping to have that into place in the next couple of weeks. So and that's, and I am willing to, I'm working on course for organizations,
Uh-huh.
because what I talked about, the Kindness Givers formula, is a foundation for organizations to embrace a culture of kindness. Now, there's a lot of organizations out there that are already taking steps in that direction,
Mm-hmm.
but there's far too many that still lack a culture where kindness is promoted and ingrained. And some people ask me, or say to me, I had a lady make an argument to me that kindness isn't profitable. It's not profitable. Well, let me ask you this. If you work in an environment where people are grouchy, where they're unkind, where they're harassing you or demoralizing you and stuff, how long do you want to stay there? If you got an
Yeah.
organization that has that kind of toxic culture, what's the attrition rate like?
Oh,
You know,
it's horrible.
and it costs that company. It could cost them their entire business. It costs them,
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of dollars every year. Gallup, you look at one of their recent reports talked about employee engagement and employee disengagement and the number of or the billions of dollars that employee disengagement is causing every year. Well, why is that? Because the organizations where those employees work haven't articulated a cause that's worth getting behind.
Well,
There,
it's hard to it's difficult to build a team with apathy.
it is. It is. And how do you inspire people to get past apathy?
Yeah.
You have
Kindness,
to, kindness,
empathy.
and empathy. Well, and think about this: if I'm an organization X, and I can come to my employees and say, "Hey, first of all, we appreciate you being here. We
Mhm.
appreciate who you are. We recognize the fact that as an organization, we are nothing without you. We need you." And we
Yeah.
have a great cause. Here's what our mission is. Here's what we are trying to do. Here's why we produce what we produce. Here's how it impacts society in a positive way. Here's what we're trying to do. And here's how you fit into the picture. And here's what we are here to do to empower you to succeed in your goals and your efforts and your responsibilities, which in turn is going to help us as an organization to succeed in our desires, right?
Yeah.
So if you have happy employees, that feel needed, feel important, and that's going to do several things. It's going to release creativity.
Uh-huh.
It's going to release innovation, and those employees are going to feel loyal. Attrition's going to go down, and they're going to have a greater desire to help your customers.
Yeah.
And when they're taking good care of your customers, what happens? Do those customers just
We
sit
all
back and do
win.
nothing?
We all win when people are kind to each other.
We do.
And somebody that doesn't believe that kindness is part of a business
Yeah,
hasn't experienced kindness in business in the way that it can be, because it's an incredibly powerful tool.
it
And
is.
teamwork, I've been on teams before where it took everything that we could produce in order to accomplish our goal. And the only way that that could be done is through kindness and understanding and encouragement and having a safe
Exactly.
place for people to actually voice their opinion and their thoughts in a safe place, you
Yeah, and
know.
exactly. And when
And
that
it makes a
happens,
difference. It makes a huge difference. And I don't understand people that haven't received that information in a positive way. So
well, and it's interesting, when you have teams like that and where you can produce a great product, they say your
mhm.
customers are going to come away satisfied, and what happens to your opportunities? They go up.
They go
Your
up.
customers bring you return business. They
Yeah.
bring you more business than what they were giving you before, and they talk. They talk
Yeah.
to other people. Word of mouth is the greatest form of marketing on the planet,
Well,
and
who
so
wants
that
to hang out with toxic individuals?
nobody,
Nobody.
nobody
It's
does.
like, and that's the whole point is like, if you want to hang out with people that are going to help you improve your life, look for people that are improving their life. Look for people that hang out with the people that are, helping others up the ladder,
Exactly.
you
But
know?
now here's a tough question, though.
Yeah.
If we're truly kind
Uh-huh.
and we work with people who are toxic,
Yeah.
uh, do we just automatically shut them out? And the
No.
and no, we can't do that, because if we do that, we're not being any better than they are.
Absolutely. Okay, so we could talk about this for another few
We
hours.
could talk for a long time, couldn't we?
And here's my, here you can be an encourager.
You can.
You can be someone that influences a different outcome and behavior. And the way you do that is for me anyway, this is just me. and I'd love to have other people, comment on this as they come through, is that you pose the question about how an outcome could be different if they made some different choices in their approach and their attitude. And I just think it's really, and like Melanie says here, she says, Melanie, limit contact with them. It's one of those things that you either you can encourage them and coach them and, you know, attempt a modification. However, some people just, they would much rather be bitter and angry
Yeah.
and some people, you can do your best to modify or encourage them to make different choices. That's what you can
And
do.
that's really what it comes down to. And I want to make one quick correction. When you were talking about people that I was talking about people I've connected with, I said Nicole Price. I meant Nicole Jones. She is so awesome. I don't know why I said
Oh,
Nicole Price. Nicole Jones, one of the most wonderful people here on LinkedIn. Shout out to you, Nicole. Um, you're absolutely right. There's a poem, and for the life of me, I can't remember who wrote it, but he talks about, um, talks about a heretic rebel, a thing to flout. He drew a circle and shut me out, but
mhm.
Love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle and took him in.
Yeah,
You do everything you can to draw a circle and take those people in, and it could take time. But in the meantime, we show as much respect as we can.
yeah,
We always make sure that we treat them with kindness. We can't control what other people do, but like you said, there are some people. It doesn't matter what you do; they're not gonna, they're not gonna respond to you, unfortunately.
yeah,
So in that situation, what do? You say, okay, next, because you can't, allow them to influence you to be
yeah,
negative and to be toxic, because that's when things start to spiral downhill. And
absolutely.
you,
Absolutely, Randy. Well,
you know,
Randy, this has been a very kind and considerate opportunity to share a little bit of insight into why the kindness giver exists and why you're here and the missions that you have. So I anticipate that if you're not connected with Randy, connect with Randy and make sure that you're part of his network and his mission in life to move forward with the kindness and the kindness givers movement. And thank you so much for being here, Randy. So let me ask you this. What's the last thing you want to leave with people today that can make a difference in their life?
remember that with kindness, everybody wins. We all win with kindness. That formula I've given is a foundation for not just it's for individuals, for families, for neighborhoods, for
Mhm.
communities, for organizations, for nations, for the world. You take that formula and you can extrapolate it into all those areas. And as we do that, we can make an impact on the world, particularly right now in the face of the challenge we have.
Yeah,
Remember your neighbors. Remember the people around you. People are going out and buying up toilet paper, buying up water, buying up all these things, and the stores are running out. So if you've
yeah.
got a supply, think about your neighbors around you.
Be
Check on them.
kind.
Be kind.
Yeah,
That's the way we can get through this together. Same
yeah,
way you think of Viktor Frankl, you think of Corey Ten Boom. Both of them were in concentration camps during World War II. And yet they survived, and they helped a whole lot of other people to survive in those horrendous, horrific circumstances. How? Because they were kind,
yeah,
because they looked for ways to lift and build those around them. And we can all do the same thing every day if we will. We have the amazing ability as human beings to make that choice and to act on it. It's up to us. So just again, remember, with kindness, everybody wins.
yeah. And as you know, thank you so much for being here, Randy. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
Have a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend. And for those out there in the world, learn to be kind because kindness is cool and smiles are free. And you enjoy the day.
Thanks, Russ.
Take care. Thank you, Randy.